72. As much as.
만큼, 정도 소스, howtostudykorean.com.
Below is a list of vocabularies to be used in this lesson. Nouns.
편의점,
Means convenience store.
학생회,
Means student council.
여배우,
Means actress.
간,
Means liver.
옆구리,
Means the side of one's body.
배꼽,
Means belly button.
영양,
Means nutrition.
영양소,
Means nutrients.
영양사,
Means nutritionist.
식료품,
Means groceries.
반찬,
Means side dish.
눈곱,
Means sleep. Little things in your eyes.
연,
Means kite.
풍선,
Means balloon. Verbs.
저리다,
Means for a body part to go numb.
날리다,
Means to make fly.
탑승하다,
Means to board. To embark.
이식하다,
Means to transplant.
투표하다,
Means to vote.
탓하,
Means to brush against. To touch. Adjectives.
무의미하다,
Means to be meaningless.
뒤늦다,
Means to belated. Adverbs and other words.
깜짝,
Means an adverb used to show surprise.
대충,
Means roughly. Half-assed. Introduction. In this lesson, you will learn how to use
만큼,
an,
정도,
which can be used to create the translation as much as. Let's get started. As much as.
만큼,
First and foremost,
만큼,
can be attached directly to a noun to describe that something is done to the extent as that noun. The typical translation for
만큼,
in these cases is as much as that noun. For example,
나만큼,
as much as me,
밥만큼,
as much as rice,
남자 배우만큼,
as much as actors,
한국 사람만큼,
as much as a Korean person,
너만큼,
as much as you. In lesson 67, you learned how
처럼,
can be attached to nouns to indicate that something is done like a noun.
만큼,
Is similar, but it more describes that something is done to a certain level, that is, the level of the noun that it is attached to. The constructions we made earlier can now go in sentences where appropriate. For example,
그는 나만큼 축구를 잘해.
he plays soccer as well as me.
과일은 밥만큼 건강에 좋아요.
Fruit is as healthy as rice is.
여배우들은 남자 배우만큼 돈을 못 벌어요.
Actresses don't make as much as actors do.
저는 한국 사람만큼 한국말을 할 수 있어요.
I can speak Korean as much as a Korean person can.
내 키가 너만큼 컸으면 그것에 손이 닿았을 거야.
If my height were as big as yours, I could have reached, touched, that, of course, because
만큼,
can be attached directly to nouns. It can also be attached directly to nouns being described by a verb or adjective. The same translation of as much as can usually be used in these situations as well. For example,
고기를 먹는 것만큼 야채를 먹어야 한다.
one should eat vegetables as much as they eat meat.
게임을 하는 것만큼 일을 열심히 하면 성공할 수 있다.
If you work as much as you play games, you can succeed.
저는 한국 사람들이 한국어를 말하는 것만큼 한국어를 말하고 싶어요.
I want to speak Korean as much well as a Korean person speaks.
바람이 많이 부는 날에 연을 날리는 것만큼 재미있는 게 없어요.
On really windy days, there is nothing as fun as flying a kite.
대학생들이 나이가 많은 사람들이 하는 것만큼 투표를 했으면 좋겠어요.
I wish hope that university students vote as much as older people.
저 비행기에 탑승하는 사람만큼 우리 비행기에 탑승하면 우리 비행기가 못 떠요.
If the amount of people who boarded that plane got on our plane, we wouldn't be able to take off.
만큼,
Can also act as the noun being described by a clause conjugated using
는 것,
that is, as,
는 만큼,
and not necessarily as.
는 것만큼,
The clause before
만큼,
can be conjugated to the past, present and future tenses. For example, here are examples of this being done in the past or present tenses.
우리가 이 파티를 즐긴 만큼 너도 즐겼으면 좋겠어. 우리가 이 파티를 즐긴 것만큼 너도 즐겼으면 좋겠어.
I hope you enjoyed the party to the extent that we enjoyed it.
저는 어제 돈을 번 만큼 오늘 쓸 거예요. 저는 어제 돈을 번 것만큼 오늘 쓸 거예요.
I am going to use money to the extent that I earned yesterday, a very common way to see.
만큼.
Described by a clause in the present tense is when the previous clause ends with
원하다.
to make constructions like as much as one wants.
내가 원하는 만큼 먹어. 내가 원하는 것만큼 먹어.
Eat to the extent that you want. Korean people can't notice a difference between the two sets usages above, that is, using
것.
or not. For example, below are examples showing
만큼.
used as a noun, as shown directly above, and as a particle attached to a noun, as shown earlier. Korean people can't distinguish the difference between the two.
고기를 먹는 만큼 야채를 먹어야 한다. 고기를 먹는 것만큼 야채를 먹어야 한다.
One should eat vegetables as much as they eat meat.
게임을 하는 만큼 일을 열심히 하면 성공할 수 있다. 게임을 하는 것만큼 일을 열심히 하면 성공할 수 있다.
If you work as much as you play games, you can succeed.
저는 한국 사람들이 한국어를 말하는 만큼 한국어를 말하고 싶어요. 저는 한국 사람들이 한국어를 말하는 것만큼 한국어를 말하고 싶어요.
I want to speak Korean as much, well as a Korean person speaks.
바람이 많이 부는 날에 연을 날리는 만큼 재미있는 게 없어요. 바람이 많이 부는 날에 연을 날리는 것만큼 재미있는 게 없어요.
On really windy days, there is nothing as fun as flying a kite.
대학생들이 나이가 많은 사람들이 하는 만큼 투표를 했으면 좋겠어요. 대학생들이 나이가 많은 사람들이 하는 것만큼 투표를 했으면 좋겠어요.
I wish hope that university students vote as much as older people. However,
는 만큼.
cannot be exchanged with.
는 것만큼.
When the describing clause is conjugated into the future tense, for example, while these are natural.
그는 학교에 갈 수 없을 만큼 아파요.
He is sick to the point that he won't go to school.
그것은 제가 볼 수 없을 만큼 무서워요.
That thing is scary to the point that I can't look.
우리가 차에 다 들어갈 만큼 공간이 있어요.
Is there space for all of us to go into the car? The following would all sound unnatural in Korean.
그는 학교에 갈 수 없을 것만큼 아파요. 그것은 제가 볼 수 없을 것만큼 무서워요. 우리가 차에 다 들어갈 것만큼 공간이 있어요. 만큼.
Is also often described by a clause that is ridiculous that will not actually happen. The speaker often uses these types of sentences as a metaphor to describe to what extent something is happening. Here is a simple example of this.
나는 죽을 만큼 너를 사랑해.
I love you to the point that I am going to die. In this case, obviously the speaker won't die from loving the person too much. However, the speaker wants to express a hyperbole in describing how much something is being done. In these cases, the clause describing
만큼.
is often in the future tense. Below are some more examples.
밥도 못 살 만큼 가난해요.
He is so poor he can't even buy rice.
길에서 넘어질 만큼 깜짝 놀랐어요.
I was so surprised that I could have fallen.
배꼽이 빠질 만큼 웃었어요.
I laughed so much my belly button could have exploded.
죽을 때까지 믿을 수 없을 만큼 저를 배신했어요.
He betrayed me to the point that I can't trust him for the rest of my life.
오늘 밤에 간 이식을 받아야 될 만큼 술을 마실 거예요.
Tonight, I'm going to drink so much alcohol that I'm going to need a liver transplant.
제가 표현할 수 없을 만큼 학생들에게 감동을 받았어요.
I can't express how much I was impressed from the students.
이 케이크는 제가 매일매일 먹을 수 있을 만큼 맛있어요.
This cake is delicious to the point that I could eat it every day. Before I go any further, I want to introduce two common idiomatic ways that
만큼.
is used. First, the word
눈곱.
is a noun that refers to the bits of crust that people get in their eyes. I guess the common word for them is sleep, but I've also heard people call them eye boogers. In addition to this,
눈곱.
is often used to describe something very small. The particle
만큼.
is often attached to
눈곱.
and is used in sentences to mean not in the slightest bit. For example,
나는 너를 눈곱만큼도 좋아하지 않아.
I don't like you in the slightest bit.
그런 식료품에 영양소가 눈곱만큼도 없어요.
There isn't the slightest bit of nutrition in that type of food product. Another idiom that you will hear is
하늘만큼 땅만큼.
the words
하늘,
and
땅.
mean sky and land respectively, but when you want to express how much you love somebody, it is a cute way of saying that you love somebody much. The literal meaning is something like I love you from the earth to the sky or something like that. If you happen to have a Korean significant other, he or she would be very impressed and happy if you told him her something like
나는 너를 하늘만큼 땅만큼 사랑해.
let's move on and about the word
정도,
which can sometimes be similar to
만큼, degree, 정도,
in its most literal sense
정도.
means degree and can be used in a variety of situations. One common way it can be used is by replacing
만큼,
in the cases where it is not attached directly to a noun. That is, it can replace
만큼,
in sentences where it is being described by a preceding verb or adjective. In the following examples,
정도,
is incorrectly attached to the nouns.
나 정도,
Doesn't make sense.
밥 정도.
Doesn't make sense. However, when described by a verb or adjective, like
만큼,
it can be appropriate. For example,
죽을 정도.
to the degree level point that one will die.
학교에 안 갈 정도.
To the degree level point that one won't go to school. Tilde
로,
is often added to,
정도.
so that the whole construction can act as an adverb indicating to what degree or extent something occurs. In practice, these can be seen as the same as examples using
만큼.
for example,
나는 죽을 정도로 너를 사랑해.
I love you to the degree that I will die.
그는 학교에 못 갈 정도로 아파요.
He is sick to the degree that he won't go to school. When used like this,
정도,
is most often used, like,
만큼.
to indicate some sort of hyperbole. Therefore, aside from the examples that I will discuss later, you will most commonly see
정도로.
being described by a clause conjugated in the future tense. Below are more examples.
밥도 못 살 정도로 가난해요.
He is so poor to the degree that he can't even buy rice.
길에서 넘어질 정도로 깜짝 놀랐어요.
I was so surprised that I could have fallen on the street.
배꼽이 빠질 정도로 웃었어요.
I laughed so much my belly button could have exploded.
죽을 때까지 믿을 수 없을 정도로 저를 배신했어요.
He betrayed me to the degree that I can't trust him for the rest of my life.
오늘 밤에 간 이식을 받아야 될 정도로 술을 마실 거예요.
Tonight, I'm going to drink so much alcohol that I'm going to need a liver transplant.
제가 표현할 수 없을 정도로 학생들에게 감동을 받았어요.
I can't express how much I was impressed from the students.
이 케이크는 제가 매일매일 먹을 수 있을 정도로 맛있어요.
This cake is delicious to the degree that I could eat it every day. It is common to attach
로,
to
정도,
in these types of sentences where it is described by a preceding verb or adjective, but other particles can be attached as well. Once the noun
정도,
is described, that noun can have other functions within a sentence. For example, using
에,
to describe another noun, you might want to check out lesson 23.
돈이 부족해서 밥도 못 살 정도의 사람들이 불쌍해요.
People who don't even have enough money to buy rice are pathetic. Using
까지.
to indicate until which point something occurred.
지금 월세도 못 낼 정도까지 돈이 없어요.
I don't have any money to the point that I can't even pay my rent. Using
이다,
or
아니다.
to indicate that something is or is not a particular level or degree.
우리가 이 일이 이미 끝났다고 할 수 있는 정도가 아니에요.
This work isn't at the point, degree, that we can call it finished already.
이 병이 나빠지는 것에 대해 많이 걱정해야 하는 정도가 아니지만 오늘부터 치료를 시작해야 됩니다.
The disease sickness getting worse isn't, to the extent that it is, something you need to worry about it, but we need to start treatment, from, today.
정도,
Is also often placed after some sort of number or counter to give a rough estimate of a number. For example,
우리는 아직 40분 정도 가야 돼요.
We still have to go about 40 minutes.
사람 10명 정도가 수업을 들을 거예요.
About 10 people will take the class.
그 책은 10,000원 정도입니다.
That book is about 10,000 won.
하늘에 풍선 1000개 정도가 있었어요.
There were about 1,000 balloons in the sky.
어느 정도만큼.
In Lesson 22, Lesson 25 and Lesson 33 you learned about the word.
어느
Can also be used in sentences with
정도,
an
만큼,
when used with
정도,
or.
만큼.
To form a question, the speaker is asking to what extent something happened. For example,
옆구리가 어느 정도 아파요.
how sore, to what extent, is your side?
옆구리가 어느 만큼 아파요.
How sore, to what extent, is your side? Note that
얼마만큼,
is often used instead of.
어느 만큼.
For example,
옆구리가 얼마만큼 아파요.
how sore, to what extent, is your side?
영양사를 어느 정도 믿어요.
How much, to what extent, do you believe the nutritionist?
영양사를 어느 만큼 믿어요.
How much, to what extent, do you believe the nutritionist?
영양사를 얼마만큼 믿어요.
How much, to what extent, do you believe the nutritionist? When used as a statement, the speaker is indicating that something is done to some extent. For example, in the examples below,
얼마만큼,
and
어느 만큼.
are possible, but they would be more likely to be used when asking a question as in the examples above. In the examples below, my wife prefers to say the sentences with,
어느 정도,
but submits to the fact that a sentence is with,
얼마만큼,
and
어느 만큼.
are understandable.
반찬을 어느 정도 만들 수 있어요.
I can make,
반찬,
to some extent.
반찬을 어느 만큼 만들 수 있어요.
I can make,
반찬,
to some extent.
반찬을 얼마만큼 만들 수 있어요.
I can make,
반찬.
to some extent.
그 사람이 무슨 말을 하고 있는지 어느 정도 이해해요.
I understand what he is trying to say to some extent.
그 사람이 무슨 말을 하고 있는지 어느 만큼 이해해요.
I understand what he is trying to say to some extent.
그 사람이 무슨 말을 하고 있는지 얼마만큼 이해해요.
I understand what he is trying to say to some extent.
그 학생은 영어를 어느 정도 잘 할 수 있어요.
That student can speak English to a certain degree.
그 학생은 영어를 어느 만큼 잘 할 수 있어요.
That student can speak English to a certain degree.
그 학생은 영어를 얼마만큼 잘 할 수 있어요.
That student can speak English to a certain degree. That's it for this lesson. For more info, please visit howtostudykorean.com.